time has come. It's here.
Yep.
We're going to do it. We're going to do the video card comparison that people have been asking about, seeing how older cards work in the new $1,650 midnight rig.
Yeah, you know, they want us to compare the 1070 versus the R9 280X.
And the RX 480.
Wait a minute, I thought it was just this one. Nobody cares about the RX 480. Don't you know that?
They don't? Stick around, guys. We got to discuss this a little bit further.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Of course, you know who I am. This is Midnight Banshee, along with my good friend CrashOverride. We're here doing the video card comparison because one of our loyal viewers says, "Hey, you built a new system, but how does it operate with the RX 480 in it?" Well, we're gonna do that because this is the RX 480 that I traded to CrashOverride because he's a bro. He's been doing me lots of solids, so you know, hey.
And I gave you a 1070, or sorry, a 970.
Yep, I traded for a 970 for the win, and I have no regrets. Okay, and you guys can call me crazy all you want. It's fine.
Well,
with the older computer, the 970, there really is no difference.
Actually, it ran a lot better in that old computer than this one did.
That's right, it did.
It did. I mean, it was
Check
so
out the old
strange.
video card battle. Check out the old video card battle. I'll put a link to it down in the video description. Check that out and see how everything ran, because we ran two different cards in two different computers. We kind of swapped them back and forth and show you how that went out.
I mean, truthfully, it was strange.
It did.
This card is so much better, and truthfully, my computer,
is.
I have a, I've already said it before, y'all probably don't, in case you don't remember, I have an i7 870. It's an original first gen i7, and this card, it runs very smoothly in my computer. Yet in his old computer, it did not run that well. But yet the 970 in your computer, I don't know why, but it just ran fucking circles around, man. It was great.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But in case you're just tuning into and this is your first video, just to give you a little overview, this is the XFX RX 480 RS card. This is an 8 gig card, and this is the custom one from XFX, and it comes with the 8-pin power supply connector. Now this is the Best Buy exclusive variant of the card because the fans light up and the XFX logo lights up. A lot of them don't, except for, like, I think the GTR version, but this is the RS version, and if you get it at Best Buy and it has the sticker on it, then it should light up too. But we're not going to compare just this card with the 1070. We're going to compare one more.
Yep, this is the Gigabyte WindForce R9 280X.
So this is literally 2 generations before the RX 480.
And I have a buddy that really, he swears by this card. I don't know how it does what he says. He says that he can play like Rise of the Tomb Raider, 1080p, 60 FPS, no problem. This is only a 3 gigabyte card, yet it is fucking huge. I mean, look at this. Look how big it is.
And you compare that. Just put
put it right on top. I mean, hell, look at that.
Look at that.
This thing's a fucking behemoth compared to that.
And so this card's smaller, yet people say, well, now people have also said that the R9 290 Fury runs super fast, but it's also super hot too and super power hungry.
Yeah. Well, this card, I think it runs a lot hotter, but heck, it even takes more power than yours. Like, yours is only an 8-pin. Mine is a 6-pin and an 8-pin, if you can see that.
Yep, so we'll put it up there.
There you go.
There's the 8-pin connector for the
That's
XFX.
the single for yours.
And
then there's
the 8 and the 6 for the R9.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be comparing this with the GTX 1070 for the Win 2, which has 2 8-pin power connectors because it does put out a lot more performance. Now granted, this is going to be a very uneven battle because everybody expects the 1070 to win. So we're going to start off with the R9 290. We're going to put that in. And then we're going to run some games. We're going to run Rise of the Tomb Raider, Watch Dogs 2, GTA 5, and Shadow of Mordor. Going to run all those at 1080p as high as we can get them as far as the detail settings go. And we'll compare card to card to card, so that way you can see how the performance is. And now, if you already own any of these cards, you probably already know how they're going to run. But for those of you who don't, who want to know how this runs in the new rig, just to catch everybody up, this is running on an i7 7700K. It's got a very slight overclock. I'm only running it at 4.3 boost, 4.3 base, 4.6 boost. It's got 16 gigs of G.Skill DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM on an ASRock Z270 motherboard.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, we're going to show you the live, well, not live, recorded video footage. We're going to be running MSI Afterburner over the top as we're recording it. And so that way you can see the real-time performance, and you can see how, if it goes up and down, as well as the temperatures and the RAM speed and how much it's using and all the other good, useful information. So, without further ado, stay tuned, pull back a chair, grab a beverage, and enjoy the results.
Or grab a vape if you need it.
Enjoy the results.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. First game out of the gate. We're going to be testing 4 different games today. We're going to be testing all games that I have access to, either ones that I bought or ones that CrashOverride has graciously lent to me to be able to play while doing these testing, because they're fun games and ones I'm probably going to end up adding to my personal collection as well. This one's one of my personal collection. This is Watch Dogs 2, if you haven't already noticed by the title down there at the bottom, because, you know, I like to give a little bit of detail there. I am running MSI Afterburner up in the corner so that way you can see the real-time frame rates as these go. And I'll update these to each of the cards. One of them did have a little bit of problems in some of the games, so I'll have to tell you about that when we get to that part of the video. This is running the first of the 3 graphics cards. This is the Gigabyte R9 280X 3 GB card. It has DDR5 RAM, well, the GDDR5. It's a lot of mouthful there, but it only has 3 gigs. So with that kind of limitation, we could not run this on Ultra. It was totally chunky, unplayable. It was horrible. So what we did was we bumped it down to very high, and it still was struggling, so we decided to change it to high detail, which is the kind of the happy ground that we ended up at. And we're running into 40s, sometimes into 50s. With only 3 gigs for your graphics card, you're not going to get ultra performance. I don't care what kind of processor you're running. For this game, the graphics card is just too old to run it. It doesn't have enough VRAM in it. And I am a terrible driver. I almost ran that poor semi-truck. And that guy almost got creamed. Now, granted, I did not drive this badly in real life. I for the most part, kind of suck at driving in games because I'm just not professional. I'm not a pro gamer by any stretch of the imagination. I play these games to have fun. And I loved the first Watch Dogs game. And I played the first Watch Dogs game, and the better your graphics card is, the better it's going to run. And I did a video a while back of how well Watch Dogs 1 runs on the old A10 6800K machine, and that had the XFX RX 488 gig graphics card in. And I know it's a mismatch. I realized that long after I bought it, because it was too much graphics card for just not enough processor. So it was kind of like, okay, why did you buy that? Well, because it was there at the store at the time and I wanted a graphics card and I didn't want a Founders Edition NVIDIA. I know, weak reason, right? All in all, this graphics card doesn't do too badly. It renders everything decent. It doesn't give you ultra detail, but it's okay. Let's go on to the next game. Let's go on to a popular one. This one I borrowed from CrashOverride. This is Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is a game I really need to start investing some time in and add it to my own collection, because this game, when I run my normal graphics card, it just looks breathtaking. But we're running this on this card. We had to turn this down also to just high detail in order to get playable frame rates. Now, if you look up there, you'll see how the GPU is doing compared to the CPU. The CPU is just barely using anything. We're GPU bound on this one, because it's not forcing the CPU to work. And of course, it's a modern 2016 title running on a graphics card that's, I think, 5 years old.
Even if we don't find anything up here,
That being said,
your dad would be
it
proud.
doesn't do horrible.
But I have a good
Now
feeling
you
about
can
this.
get this particular graphics card. I've seen it on eBay for around $150-ish for this particular model of the card. Don't get it on Amazon. It is way overpriced on there. I saw it was running. People were running like $300 for this card. It's like $300. You don't get a 3 gig graphics card for $300. You just don't. And saved at the last second.
That was close.
It doesn't run too badly. I mean, we're in the 40s frame rate 40 FPS ish. We're still doing far above console because, as you know, consoles are always locked at 30. So, in my opinion, anything above 30 is well worth it. I'm just not that huge of a. I'm not that much of a graphics perfectionist. Well, maybe I am because of the graphics card I normally use. But if you're looking, if you're on a budget and you only have like $150 to spend, you might not even buy this one, because the RX 480 cards, for the 4 gig cards, you can get one for probably under $200.
Shit, Laura.
So should you get this card?
Are you okay?
My opinion,
Yeah.
probably not.
Come on.
It's just not worth it. For one, it's bigger. It takes more power than the RX 480s do. But, you know, if you already have one of these, it will still play modern games at what I consider reasonable graphics level. Do you need a 7700K with an R290 280X? No, you don't. Something slower can probably run just as well. I could probably run this with this graphic card in my older system.
Find this lost city.
Well, maybe not, because that one was like ancient. I could have run this on our i3, what was it, i5 2130 CPU and done just fine. That wind is cold. Okay, I think we need to just get out of this frozen climate. Let's go somewhere else. Here we go. Let's go to Middle Earth. Vacation spot of the galaxy, I'm sure. This is Shadow of Mordor, as you haven't already guessed. This game is better optimized for running on PCs, so this one we cranked all the settings that we could find up to the max. We did this on ultra detail, and I just can't get down the slide to save my life, so we're gonna have to take another running jump at this. And slide down, and didn't know what hit him. Now he knew what was coming, so he was prepared for it. The thing I love about Shadow of Mordor is that once I got used to the combat style of this game and games like Arkham Knight, this game is so much fun to play. I've beaten this game on consoles, and it's pretty on PS4, don't get me wrong, but it's even nicer on a PC. How much nicer? Well, it's a matter of personal perception, really. It's one of those games that you can get your abilities readily, easily, and you can get up through the ranks. And look how well we're doing. We're not doing too badly at all. Look up there at the CPU numbers and look at the GPU numbers, and you'll see how we're doing. Again, the CPU really isn't doing a whole lot of work in this game because it's mainly optimized to use the graphics card. That's what it's mainly optimized for. So for a 3 gig card, it's not chunking around. It's not really heavily stuttering a whole lot. It's very playable. Is it the smoothest you'll ever get with a 3 gig card? I mean, come on, seriously, do you really need to ask that question? It's not the world's smoothest. There are people who's going to say, oh, you can get better detail on a 4 gig card or an 8 gig card. Yes, you can. But for a $150 card, if you get it for less than $150, if you can get it for enough below the cost of an RX 480 4 gig card, maybe. Other than that, I would probably just pass it up and just get the RX 480. Call it good, have fun, play your games at 1080p, and you'll have a blast. I played this game on my other system using the RX 480, and before I upgraded to the current system, and it ran fine.
There was a bad outbreak of ghouls at noon, so we're going to be joining forces with the
Let's see if we can sneak up on this guy. And there we go! One less orc in the world. One less orc anywhere is good. Okay, let's go have some fun with everybody's favorite game, Grand Theft Auto 5. And we crank this sucker up to the max as well. There is no real max preset on this. You kind of have to play with the settings. But check this out. On a 3 gig card, we're doing 60 plus frames per second. This game, like I've seen from many other reviewers, this game was what I call the love letter to PC owners everywhere because it's fun, it's playable, you don't need a huge top-of-the-line system to run, although it does help. Oh, dude, did you just run me over? Seriously? Okay, we're gonna run over here because we're invincible and we'll just take you out. Yes, I agree. Rocket launchers are way too much fun. Although you run out of ammo too fast unless you keep using the tool-up cheat, which I've learned. I didn't know these cheat codes existed. So you got painkiller for the invincibility for 5 minutes, and you get the tool-up to get ammo, you get the turtle to repair your car. And I include this section because it has got one amazing scene in it that I thought, wow, this is epic. I have got to put this in here. And we'll just steal the cop's car because we know how cops cars are more performance, they're higher power, and they just go faster than a lot of cars. Not all of them, but some of them. And we are just setting a really bad example for drivers everywhere. Running into cars. Here we go. Now is this cop that's right behind me gonna follow me to the end of the earth? Check this out. And turbo boost! And he hits me in mid-air. These guys are determined to catch me. And he caused me to fail my stunt. I'd just go figure. I didn't even know this thing had stunt jumps in it when I first started playing the game, and now that I know that there's stunt jumps, I'm going to be all over the map looking for these things. I know there's guys out there that show you where they're all at, but I'm going to go out there and find them. Because this game is just way too much fun. I love playing this game. So with a 3 gig card, absolutely you can play this. Look at this. It's using the CPU a little bit more. It's maxing out the GPU. But for this game, it's a little bit better balance, I think. Although it's not using all the cores all the time. But what it does use it pretty well. Oh! Ouch. Ouch. My paint's gonna be totally smashed up. And... okay. We can land all 4 wheels, we're good. So one nice thing about games like this, you don't really necessarily have to stay on the road. You can stay on the road, but you don't have to. Alright, let's get on out of here. Okay, so I think we've had just about as much fun on the R9 280X as we can. Let's go on to the next card. This is the card that was requested for the video. This is the XFX RX 480 RS 8GB card. Running in the same machine, we're also running this at high detail because it seems to run the best. Now it does have 8GB of GDDR5 in it, like the 1070 does, but it's at a lower clock speed. Now of course we could run this at very high if we wanted to. But this is how we have this set for this particular game. And we're running, 70 frames a second. We're about the same forested area, and vegetation tends to bring down a graphics card capabilities quite a bit. 60 plus still. Oh, do we go into your restricted space? We'll just leave, okay? How's that? So I don't think they like that too much. That's okay. My car's too fast for them. But look at this. I mean, up on high detail, we're getting some pretty darn good performance. Oh! Ow! On the side. Let's just spin around and take off just because our car's tough like that. Now, granted, I probably didn't need to update my graphics card when I did the new build, but I wanted to get something that was just a little bit faster. And, well, granted, 1070 is a lot faster overall than this card, but it's worth letting you know that if you're building a system that's similar to mine as far as the CPU, the motherboard, that kind of thing goes, with the 7700K, you can run an RX 480 just fine. It's totally fine. Let's go check out and see how Rise of the Tomb Raider looks. Yeah, you knew we were coming back to this one. Of course, we're running the same 4 cards.
Wait till you see
This time we cranked this thing up to ultra detail. We put this thing to the wall.
Thanks.
And check that out. 60s, 70s on ultra.
It's amazing.
Well, as high as it goes anyway. Very high ultra. You get the idea. It's pretty much maxed out.
The trail leads
Look
up the
at that.
mountain. We'll have a good view of the valley beyond from the summit.
All right, let's take it easy here.
Now, I didn't choose different random sections of Rise of the Tomb Raider because, quite honestly, I just started playing this game, so I figured, might as well, play with what I already knew in the game. And later on, there's going to be sections that are going to be more taxing no matter what graphics card, no matter what processor you have in there, because once you get into the vegetation stages, it's going to tax it a little bit more. This is just the first stage. It's got the snow blowing around, it's got the wind, and it looks really nice. I still remember when Tomb Raider first came out on the PS1. Laura's certainly come a long way. Dig that accent, girl. There we go.
Laura, are you all right?
You knew she was going to save herself.
Jonah!
Because I knew which button to press.
I'll climb down there and get you.
No! It's too
It's just
dangerous.
bitterly cold. It just looks cold.
I can climb back up.
Are you sure?
Just stay put.
Of course I'm sure. So I figure out which button to press to activate the ice axis. But again, check out the CPU and GPU numbers. Those tell the story right there. If one's maxed out and one's barely moving, well, you know which one's doing all the work.
I need to jump across.
So if your GPU is maxing out 100%, 90%, and your CPU is barely doing anything, then your graphics card bound. Obverse is also the true.
You're gonna give me a
If your
heart attack.
CPU is maxed out and your GPU is barely doing anything at all, then your CPU bound.
Come on.
I think that's the way it goes. But like has been told by other reviewers, whether a graphics card is going to bottleneck a CPU or a CPU is going to bottleneck a graphics card, there's no one answer for it. Jay's 2 Cents has said it, Tech Deals has said it, a number of people have also said it. It's like, you can't just say X bottlenecks Y or Y bottlenecks X. It's very subjective.
I know this is a long shot, but that old tracker said he saw ruins up in these mountains.
And here comes the blowing snow, and oh, I live in an area that gets snow in the wintertime. Not this much snow, but I know what cold feels like. Trust me, I know the opposite side of zero.
Storm's getting closer.
Okay, let's get over back into MORDOR. Again, running the XFX RX 480. This time we crank this thing up, we put it to the wall. Put on ultra detail. Yeah, this card's just kind of sitting there and smiling at us. It's giving us no problems whatsoever. And you guys are toast. I think out of all the surprise attacks, I think I like that one the best. I see you, you see me, and you're going down. I haven't quite fully mastered all the controls on the PC version, although it's very similar to the PS4 version. This game is a lot of fun. If you haven't played it yet, I really recommend you do it, especially now that it's getting cheaper, and the sequel Shadow of War's coming out later on this year, so I'm really looking forward to that game.
Freedom! Mud, and they can't even march! Any creature that weak deserves to be hanging off the end of our balls!
And you're toast! Yeah, I love Elf Shot.
Final free. He's dead!
Haha. Of course he's dead. And now, you are too. That's another one of my favorite attacks. That and there's an attack called Brutalize that you can get later on in the game that makes all the other orcs and the uruks run away from you. That one's a lot of fun. Yep, he's staying down. I love open world games, as you might have noticed. Now, granted, the Tomb Raider isn't an open world game, but these other ones are. Haha! I got to jump on you. Sometimes these archers are just way too easy, but sometimes you can also run out of arrows too quickly too. So you gotta make sure that you get your perks up to where you can get more arrows. Because the more arrows you have in the game, the easier it's gonna be.
It's a horrible idea.
And you're done. And now you guys are too. Don't get up. Dude, seriously, don't get up. Alright, now we gotta finish you off too. Oh, you're gonna run away? No. And I'm out of arrows. Okay, fine. We'll do this the hard way. Nope, need more elf shot. Let's get our cardio on. But check it out. I mean, this card with this game runs fine. Put it to the wall, max it all out, have a party. Free Middle Earth. Get the war chiefs out of the way. Brand your army. Go to town. You kind of feel like a legendary fighter when you're playing this game, especially if you know the controls really well. I want to put enough gameplay of each of these so that way you kind of get an overall idea of how each of these graphic cards runs on each of these games. Okay, we had enough of Middle Earth? Alright, fine. Let's switch over to Los Santos. Of course you knew we were coming back here. Here we come to rob your car. You actually can't tell. Ever since I found out the cheats, like, okay, we're gonna let the cops stop me, and then we're just gonna take one of the cars and run. Of course, it's the most highly visible car, so you know they're gonna find it regardless. And check it out. Now here's one of the games that we had the problem with the MSI Afterburner not getting the information. I don't know why. So unfortunately in this test I can't really show you how much of the GPU is being used compared to the CPU. But suffice it to say, I mean, if you look at the CPU numbers, it's not maxing out. So this 8 gig card runs fine. It runs perfect. You're getting well over 60 frames a second running it to the max. I mean, you're not going to have any problems at all running this game on this card on a 7700K with 16 gigs of RAM. You're just not going to have any problems. So max it out and have fun with it. And this is the first Grand Theft Auto game I actually got excited about once I started playing it, because this game you really have a lot of fun with, because not only is the story really good, you have 3 protagonists, and there's just a lot of fun to be had in this game. Wow. This thing slides around a lot. Oh, we'll fix that. And our cop car is now perfectly good as new with a shiny wax job. Will it stay that way? Probably not. In this game, I highly doubt it. Especially with my driving skills, which are, in real life are great. In video games, not so much. Ah, you ain't gonna get my tires out. I couldn't find the stunt jump in this one, so I couldn't do it again, which was kind of sad. I'm gonna have to figure out where in the map that really cool stunt jump was. In fact, I gotta figure out where a lot of those stunt jumps are. Yeah, we're touching over 100 frames a second. I mean, yeah, you're just not gonna have any problems. Look at that sunset. I mean, look at that. The atmospheric detail that this game gives you with this card is awesome. Okay, well, you know what's coming up now. Boom! Kaboom! Yay, rocket launchers! Ah, boo, he ran way too fast. There we go. Alrighty, enough of that. Now we come to the best of the three, in my opinion. This is the EVGA GTX 1070 for the Win 2 8GB graphics card. It's a lot of terminology for a card that does really, really well. For this game, I decided to not only have it on Ultra Detail, this game also has a high-res texture pack, which you can push the details even farther. So this is not only Ultra Detail, this also has about 25% extra resolution. So we're pushing this even farther than Ultra Detail, which you can do. How's it doing? Well, it's very well optimized for the CPU-GPU combination that I have, because it's running over 50% on the CPU and pegging out the graphics card. And the thing that was pointed out to me, and I absolutely love about EVGA cards, they auto overclock. Look at that, we're getting 2 gigahertz on the graphics card. And why not? Because it has the horsepower to do it. So I'm going to drive around, I'm going to show you just how gorgeous this city looks in 1080p Ultra Detail. Will this run 1440? Of course it will. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? 7700K and a 1070? Of course it's going to run 1440. I just don't have a 1440 monitor. So that's why I don't really put it on 1440. And I haven't quite figured out optimizations on how to render things at 1440 yet. Once I get a monitor to do that, then I will probably redo some of these tests at 1440. But for my wants, my needs, you know, I like gaming and some video rendering. I didn't want to wait for Ryzen, so I chose what I thought was the best option at the time, which in this case was the 7700K, as hot as this thing runs, because it is notorious for running hot. That's just the way the CPU runs. I'm hoping they do BIOS updates in the future to better control the temperatures, although I think that's more to do with just how the CPU is designed. And I know a lot of you people are chanting the D-lid, 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 D-lid thing. It's like, no. I'm not going to do it. Stop asking. It ain't going to happen for 2 very good reasons, in my opinion. 1, it voids your warranty, and 2, I'm afraid that I would brick the CPU, so to me, it's not worth the risk. If I decide that I just can't handle the 7700K, I'll either go to a 6700K. Granted, it's going to lose a little bit of performance, not a whole lot, but it's probably going to run cooler, or just say the heck with it and swap to Ryzen. Won't get as high overall, won't get as high FPS, but it'll do more things. Because I like doing video rendering and 3D images and stuff like that, which that thing's better for. The thing I will definitely say about Watch Dogs 2 over the first one is the area is a lot larger, and you can do more hacking ability than you could in the first one, because this one you have multiple options for your hacking. You can remote control vehicles, you can loot people of their hard-earned debit cards, and you also have, well, in the first game you had, after a while you had an RC drone that you could do. This one you have an RC jumper, which can jump around, and then you have a quadcopter. Okay, check this out. We're going into Rise of the Tomb Raider. We're pushing this thing up as far as it'll go. Very high ultra detail. I include the VH/Ultra because some only go to very high, some go to ultra. We basically put it to the wall. Check it out.
Look at that.
This one is mainly using the graphics card because if you notice the CPU isn't doing a whole lot. It's not even at 50%. Over 100 frames per second.
The trail leads up the mountain. We'll have a good
Now in the
view of the
vegetation
mountain beyond the
stages,
summit.
that's going to go down. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Take it easy here.
But in this stage, with the wind blowing around and the snow effects and the
This wind is
particles,
crazy.
We just
it's
need to keep
really
moving.
crazy smooth. I absolutely love it.
Hey, even if we don't find anything up here, your dad would be proud.
I know, but I have a good feeling about this.
Especially since, Laura, you've done this section now 3 different times.
Oh, shit!
Ooh.
You okay?
Lost my footing. I'm fine.
She has a great accent, too. I'm a big fan of accents. Oh, here we go. And save right at the end.
That was close.
Laura,
Yep.
are you all right?
Again.
Jonah!
With this card and this CPU, there's no reason to have any problems at all. This will probably this should run 1440p with no issues whatsoever. In fact, this kind of configuration has been labeled as being the sweet spot for 1440p gaming, and I totally believe it. As soon as I get a 1440p monitor, I will be putting that to the test because my configuration's a little bit different. And I actually did this footage first before I knew what the heck I was doing. I knew that you actually had to go around there, that you couldn't jump up. So that's why I look like a noob all of a sudden. But once I get a 1440p monitor, I will be putting that to the test.
I need to jump across.
If you love adventure games, you should definitely get this.
Gotcha. Shit, Laura. You're gonna give me a heart
Yeah,
attack.
this CPU is barely doing anything. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm bored. It's definitely making good use of the graphics card, though. It's not really taxing
Looks
it
like we
out
gotta go through.
terribly. It's more than capable of handling this. So if your main goal is 1080p gaming, you could definitely spend a lot less money than this and get a really good 1080p experience.
The weather turns, we can hold up in this cave.
You could get along just fine with the RX 40 8GB card or the 4GB card
But that old tracker said he saw ruins
and
up in the
have no
mountain.
problems. Now, if you want a good 1080p computer and not have to worry about putting it together, go over and check out Tech Deal's review of the CyberPower $720 PC. He did a really good extensive review. In fact, he did a recent review where he did the new version. Okay, here we are back in Middle Earth again. Again, we put the graphic settings to the wall. We maxed out as much as we could, trying to just see how far we could push this game. And yeah, no issues at all whatsoever. I put this in just for a comparison because it's a slightly older game, but it runs no problems. It runs nice and fast too. That's what I really love about it. You're not getting any hiccups, you're not going to get any stutter at all that I've seen. In fact, I run this game on my old A10 1600K with the RX 48GB card, and it was running really, really well there too. So this game, I put it in because, like I said, I actually own the game, so I'm going to put it in there so that we can show you what it looks like. And if you love open world games, then this may give you some incentive to check it out if you haven't already. And the more you get into the game, the more abilities you get too. You get earn abilities. And if you play it, I definitely recommend building up the wraith abilities first. But also make sure you get like things like your arrows and your health and stuff like that maxed up too. But the wraith abilities definitely help.
A corpse, and it's one of us.
It's one of ours! And soon you're going to join him. Wraith Flash. You gotta love it. And we'll just finish him off for good measure. Yeah. This game runs really well. Here we come to free Middle-earth. Okay, ready for the last one? Okay, yep. This last one, you knew it was coming. GTA 5, maxed out detail on the 1070. This is like the dream configuration for GTA 5. Do you need a 1070 run GTA 5 at max detail? Nope. You absolutely don't. Does it look cool? Yeah, it does. Will it play 1440p better than the RX 40? Yes, it will. So if you like running things at 1080, you can get a RX 480. Have a party. Absolutely playable, absolutely smooth, like you've seen in here. It runs great. I think I actually drove a little bit better in this on this card too. I'm not crashing quite as much. Oh, almost thought we could thread the needle, but not quite. Okay, I lied. I can't drive as well. But I'm doing driving around sections just to kind of be as similar as possible between the sections. And of course, I'm going to get out. I'm going to get me some weapons. There we go. Get ourselves our patented heavy handy-duty rocket launcher. Blow the trucks away. Can I get that one? Nope, because my aim sucks. Can we get the red one? Yes, and a whole bunch of others behind it. That bus didn't need all those people in it, did it? Are the cops coming? Oh, I missed. Pfft. And now I'm out of rockets. Oh well. Oh, that bus did burn up. Okay, let's get in our car. Let's take off. Vroom, vroom. You can't get me. I'm invincible. Da, 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 da. It is using the CPU more. It's not really loafing around because it's above 50%. The graphics card's pegging out. It's getting up around 2 gigahertz. So, you know, for max detail, GTA 5, there you go. Okay, so that's how all those stacked up together. Wait a second. My shirt changed. My background changed. Oh, that's right. This is 2 days later. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get everything done all in the same day, and I couldn't get CrashOverride back over here to do the rest of the video because for reasons beyond my control. No fault of anybody. It's just my own set of circumstances, so it is what it is. But I wanted to show you guys how these three graphics cards performed against each other in this kind of build. So the only thing that changed between the three was the graphics card. Nothing else has changed. Do I recommend you get the R9 280X to do 1080p gaming? You can, but you really shouldn't. I would just stick with the RX 480, either the 4 gig or the 8 gig cards. You'll run fine. With the 8 gig card, as you see in the demos that we did, it had no problems. Either high or very high or ultra detail. You kind of have to play with it a little bit just to kind of see what works best for you as far as a smooth, good 1080p gaming gameplay. So if you're going to do 1440p gaming, get the 1070. It's really the better card for that kind of thing. But for 1080p, like people have asked, the RX 480 runs just fine. So you can get the RX 480, you can get the 4 gig card at 200 or less nowadays, or you can get the 8 gig card for a little bit more, about 240-ish. Now granted, different board partners and different retailers are having for different prices. I'm going to put a link to Amazon down below for both the RX 480 4 gig and 8 gig cards, as well as the GTX 1070 card that I used in this particular one. So all those links are going to be down in the video description to Amazon because I have an affiliate account there. So if you choose to buy it there and you want to check it out and you want to buy it, helps me out. Maybe it'll give me some more stuff to review and provide for you on this channel to watch and enjoy. A huge shout out to CrashOverride for bringing over the R9 280X, as well as let me borrow back the RX 480 8 gig cards so that way you can put those in the build. So if you haven't checked out Crash's Game Corner, definitely do so. The link to his channel is down in the video description. Go check him out. He's got some great content. He started doing live streaming recently, doing a really good job with it, so definitely go check it out. So until next time, as I always say, be yourself, be original, be a little random every day because you and learn something new every day because you should. And also,
keep gaming in the corner.
Catch you guys next time.